Hello to you. So what is the situation in the hotel where you are now? When we last spoke to you, you had heard random gunfire outside. You'd also mentioned that 1 or 2 Gaddafi loyalists had come inside the hotel for medical treatment. What's the latest?
The situation's gotten more tense. More members of the previous hotel staff and security and the media group that was responsible for us have returned with guns, obviously, because they were fighting. These are volunteers, they're not soldiers. They returned with news from the fighting, and the picture they have given us is not a picture of loss, and they were very confident. And I believe, I'm sorry to say I couldn't go further, one of them might have been killed in front of the hotel. This is a possibility. I cannot confirm it right now because there are snipers still in the hotel. We've been given messages by CNN, for example, not to mention Al-Qaeda or anything like that, because we would get killed. This was a veiled threat in my eyes. It's unacceptable. It's censorship. And this is not acceptable threat.
It certainly seems like an increasingly tense atmosphere where you are there. But when you're talking about the latest violence, is that around the hotel where you are, or is that in other parts of the city, or are you hearing violence from other parts of the city as well?
No, but after the news came of the conflict in what the Western media, the U.S., CNN, and them are saying, the CNN journalists picked up, and I believe they contacted NATO and the rebels, and the ones that are actually security guards, that's what they really are. I've said we have to take action soon now. They have their own extraction plans, and I believe that my life and the life of other journalists who are not reporting with consensus, our lives are in danger. Our lives are in danger. They're very unhappy with us. We're getting very bad looks, and if anything happens to us, I would. If anything happens to us, I would blame. They would have a hand in it, definitely. When they're threatening us, they threaten British nationals, French nationals. This is not acceptable. You know, just because we are not going with the NATO coverage of the news. We're not going by what NATO is presenting. NATO is not winning. I think they're going to try to say there's a bloodbath and intervene militarily here with their responsibility to protect, which I never saw in Bahrain or Saudi Arabia. And they're saying there's Qatari troops caught here. This is the people we saw are saying Qatari troops are caught here. They were very confident. And to be honest with you, I was a little emotional seeing one of them because he's a young man and he worked here, you know. And one of the journalists was very untasteful about it. Very rude comments.
All right. Now, when you talk about feeling threatened where you are, but you're talking about feeling threatened. You're feeling threatened by the rebel forces who have taken control of certain areas, or is it also the loyalists?
No, not the loyalists. We feel threatened by the rebels and by some of the journalists in here. I'll tell you right now, some of the journalists in here, we feel threatened by them because they're not real journalists. They're not real journalists at all.
Well, do you have a safe house? Do you have a safe room with mattresses padding up the walls? I mean, where can you seek shelter if you know?
The Russian embassy said they welcome us, but we can't get there because there's fighting in front of them. The Cuban embassy. Do you hear the fighting? It started. Like, it's getting very loud. They're coming here. God knows. God knows what can happen. But it's very important that the real international community, not NATO countries, take action to get us out of here.
All right, now you're just asking me if I hear the latest gunfire. Was that gunfire, or was that possibly NATO bombing?
There was gunfire. I haven't heard NATO bombing. It sounds like gunfire to me.
All right. Now you did say earlier that you heard some bombing. You heard some bombing earlier, but is it in the immediate vicinity of your hotel? I mean, is your neighborhood, so to say, under siege?
Is my neighborhood under siege? We have snipers here. Somebody was shot. I don't know if they're dead. I'm sorry to say I could not go out that far to check. And once that person was shot, they left in their cars very fast. But they'll come back. Well, the message was we are hearing, maybe I'm letting you know that the messages we are hearing on the ground are conflicting with what the reports say, what Al Jazeera is saying and what CNN is saying. and I think they're very upset. They're very upset that that things are not going the way they want.
All right. Well, listen, we'll